So it is online.
Hey guys, so just starting the stream for the Netdata Office Hours, this episode number 5. We are of course giving some time for people to join, so just like 5 minutes into the hour, we'll start. And you can find the slide deck on the chat, so if you want to follow. So I already see some people joining. Just to give kind of an update, we are giving a couple of minutes until the start, so people can join the stream. So in about 4 minutes, we should start with the office hours. Yeah, some comments already about the marketplace. So it seems Luis wants to get his Persian rug. Let's see. Let's see what's in place for the marketplace. So we should soon start. Just one more minute, and we'll go. So let me start sharing my screen, and we can get going. So, good morning or afternoon to all. We are here for the fifth episode of Netdata Office Hours. Me and Costa are going to be speaking about integrations marketplace and some more stuff, and even a bonus demo of a recent feature that was developed. So, without further ado, let's jump into the agenda. So as usual, the introduction, spotlight, a slot for questions, and then just kind of some questions and feedback that we saw on community that could be interesting to share with you guys. So straight to the spotlight. In kind of a general updates, we like to give some emphasis to the Netdata repo revamp of the README that was done recently. So to try to make it more easy for you to understand what Net is capable of, access to information with FAQs, and some more details that you'll see in a moment. We have some updates about the on-prem, so we like also to share some things around that. And then as the key topic, the integrations marketplace, that is the main thing. So going straight to the Netdata repo revamp, do you want to go ahead and present it, Costa?
Yeah, sure. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, how to do this from here? I think it's done. I will do it from here. Okay. So this is a little VM of mine that I do tests. So let's go here to the repo. Yes, we did a few changes here. The whole point was for the repo to be as simple as the README, to be as simple as possible. This is what we wanted. And we wanted people to actually be able to understand immediately what Netdata does and why it is good, etc., etc. So we try to explain it in as little words as possible. So the first thing is, okay, there is a menu at the top, then there is an overview of what Netdata can do. I think that this reflects what's happening. We have then the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. Guys, actually, we are almost to become the second there. So if you go here, Netdata, so Netdata is currently, these are old numbers, so it's Elastic and Netdata. So if you go to Netdata today, we have 64,200 exactly. And if you go to Elastic, can I go from here? Oh, I can go. Elastic, 330 delta. That's the delta. It used to be about 800, 700, something like that. So we're closing the gap to become the second most starts project in CNCF. So of course, this is due to your love. A lot of stars, guys. Thank you very much. Then what we did is that we have here a simple roadmap that this includes what has been done in the last year. It's 12 months of progress. But at the top, we have what's coming up. So these are the things that we currently work. Integrations, you see it's finishing. We have this that will be done immediately after integrations. We have the on-prem that we work on to make Netdata Cloud available on-prem, to convert all the units according to UCUM, so that we are standards compatible.
Sorry to interrupt you, Costa. It seems the share is a bit blurry. Do you think it could be because of the sharing inside the VM could be causing this?
Oh, wait. If this is blurry, let me make it smaller. Yeah, it will do this. Give me a second. I didn't notice that. Apply. Is it better? Still blurry. Even smaller.
It's a bit better, but still a bit blurry.
Yeah, wait. I have an 8K monitor here and it's stupid thing. Is it better?
Yeah, much better.
Let me refresh. Yeah, it's tiny now. Let me go to another page. Where it is here? No, you cannot see it from inside. Where is it here? Yes, that's better.
Yeah.
You
Thanks.
see it now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. So we have, as I was saying, a small roadmap is here about what's coming. This plugin is very interesting. It's almost ready. It reads the systemd journal. It exposes a function and a data function that allows you to view on the Netdata dashboard the systemd journal. And then we have more stuff that are later, of course, starting from September. The whole point is to get all this out by September. Now, below, we have a getting started, how to start with Netdata, configure collectors, install it, configure collectors, configure alerts, set up parents, connect to cloud if you want, of course. We have a big section of how it works. Recently, we also added a lot of internals below about what we use internally and how they work. And even here, there are all these links that you see. They have quite some documentation behind the scenes. So here, because you can see diagrams, etc., etc. Let's go back where I was with how it works. Here it was. And then we have an FAQ that we try to answer as many questions as possible about the project, about the differences you see. I added here about the Prometheus and Grafana, about Datadog, New Relic, Dynatrace, about the subscriptions to cloud, about the anonymous telemetry, about who uses Netdata. This is an interesting list that you can find in our in the people that have started Netdata, and with many of them we also talk and get feedback. Documentation, community, of course. There is a meetup now on Meetup.com. You can find the schedule for everything, but I guess you already know that. And how to contribute. That's it with the README. If you believe that something is missing from all of these lists, in order for people to get clarity immediately on what is Netdata and why they should use it and what they can achieve, make a suggestion. We are very open to be as transparent and clear to users as possible. Now, the next thing, do you want to stop for this moment, Hugo, or can I proceed to the second one, the second item?
You can present then the bonus. I can jump after, so we don't switch screens. So you can present the, yeah.
Now, my screen is very small now, so I guess, even the data here is a tiny thing. Let me remove this to 100. Let me do this. Oops. Oh, interesting, it doesn't work. Come on, settings. Give me a moment, guys. Display settings. 100. Can you see it now? No, you can't. So, Hugo, I think you have to share because my
Okay.
8K monitor here is not helping a lot. Everything is extremely low quality.
Okay, I can share.
Yeah.
Let's probably then stick to agenda, and then I'll in the meantime prepare what we're going to demo. Yeah. So instead of the treat, let's say the bonus thing that we're going to share, let's just briefly touch on the on-prem and the updates we have about that. So as we mentioned on a previous Netdata Office Hours episode, we're discussing about the Netdata Cloud on-prem Lite, which is you have all your metrics data isolated, but you don't need to host, let's say, a Netdata Cloud deployment yourself. So you still keep using cloud, but we are going to enhance, let's say, our cloud spaces settings to allow you to control what are the data flows that will go from the agent to cloud. So you can even put your agent behind, let's say, a cloud SSO. So cloud will be responsible to authenticate your agents and the access to those agents. You'll also be able to control how you want to get the alert notifications, if by agent or by cloud. And in the last, of course, the metric data for visualization, let's say the data queries, how do you want them to be processed? Do you want them to go just from your browser to the agent, or they will go through cloud as currently they do on any of our plans, let's say on cloud? So this is what's kind of a insult for the Netdata on-prem Lite. This is a work we are already doing, or it's planned, and we'll be starting it soon. So soon we'll have more news on this. And the one that we are taking more or progressing more at the moment is the Netdata Cloud on-prem, let's say the fully on-prem. And we have good progress here because we have the technical implementation in a good state, and also the commercial definitions how to commercialize this. And we are ready to start some POCs that we have on the pipeline with some of big customers that are expecting this product. So this is really getting to the commercialization, let's say, stage. So it's a really good news for people that are looking for that. On the last Netdata episode, we shared this page that you can compare what we mean by each of these offerings. So you can read more about it and check more. And this basically just a kind of a brief update. So probably now jumping into the main topic of today's episode. So I think you guys might have heard in the past that we are working on this integration marketplace, and what we want to achieve with this. So we want to have all the information about what Netdata can integrate with, centralized and be kind of a shared across all properties. So app, the documentation, let's say Learn, and the website will have the same information, and this information is going to contain what you need to know about those integrations. So from an overview statement, what is this integration, what you can do with it, what metrics this integration collects, if it's related to data collection, which alerts are linked to that, and how can you set it up. At the moment, this setup part is just kind of guiding the steps for you to be able to configure and have it running. But the end game or the end goal is to have a kind of click and go integration configuration. So this is already on the works. We are still doing the agent part of the work on this one. And basically, from this marketplace, you'll be able to just click and activate a data collection from cloud directly. And you don't need to restart your agent. You don't need to go to the terminal to do anything. So the goal is really to just click and go. So don't need to search and scrape documentation for what are the files you need to change, what are the configurations that you need to put in place, and you don't need to fiddle with these configuration files. Yeah, basically click and configure. We'll be able to see this probably. I think the slide was on the wrong place, but this is a kind of a screenshot of what we are having, and I'll quickly go to show this. This is still on our testing environment, so it's not yet available for you to play with it, but just for you to be able to see. So if I go to one space that at the moment I don't have any node connected, so even we are putting this part of the onboarding wizard, let's say, so user that is landing on that data, he'll be able to search and see what he can do. So we have a deployment section showing which operating systems you can deploy this on. If you run Docker on Kubernetes, you can also deploy them there. So it's our kind of there's some things that we're still fixing, but there's the commands that you need to run to do it. But probably the most interesting part is going to be on the collection side. So here you will see on data collection a couple of categories that we have put our collectors into. And if you jump into any of these integrations, as I mentioned, you're going to be able to see the overview explaining or speaking about what this integration is. You'll be able to find which metrics this data collector is gathering. So, and this is per kind of per instance, let's say. So if you have applications, if you have slots or table or database, so you will see per each type of scopes. That's what you're going to be able to see, the metrics that are being collected and a brief description of what it is. And as I mentioned also, in terms of data collection, you have a reference to the alerts. And here we even link it to the direct configuration of the alert. So if you want to see what this alert is configured, what is the definition of the alert, you can navigate to the repo and see exactly on this Postgres LCD configuration file what is the definition of that alert. And as I mentioned in the end, you are able to see the setup steps from what prerequisite you need to do, what are the configurations that you need to change. This is still that manual step that I was speaking about. And then you have access to the configuration options that are available. And then you can see some configuration examples that you can guide and see guide you to achieve what you want. And as usual, this is kind of collected by us from this step, but we also rely on the support from community. So if you see some information that is not fully complete or is not accurate, you're going to be able to edit this information and contribute to make it even better. Or if some collector doesn't have any overview or any information, you're going to be able to edit, make a PR, and then we'll be able to merge it to our let's say repository, because all of this is going to be kept on the Netdata public repo together with the collectors. So you're going to basically just create a PR on that repo and allow us to maintain this updated. As I mentioned, this is going to be as part of the onboarding wizard, but once you are on a space that already has nodes connected, you're going to be able to access it from the space settings under integrations, for example. And here the context is just like just focus on the integration. It's no longer a marketplace. And I didn't speak about this search bar. You can search by keywords, by the name of the collector, so you can use this as your search. But also as part of the sorry, I need to open this. As part of the quick actions that we have on the side menu, besides the connect nodes, we are also putting here the integration, so you can easily jump to this marketplace and access it from multiple places. So yeah, basically this is the feature we are working to deliver soon. And then of course the next step is, I mentioned, the configuration from the UI. That's going to be the following step into this. So probably just making a small break to see if anybody has any question, any comment they'd like to clarify. Yeah, lots of metadata files being prepared and gathering all this documentation to be ready. Good. So if there's no comment, I can quickly jump to the demo that we are just speaking. Let me just give me 1 minute just to prepare one thing, and I'll soon be able to show it to you. So bear with me for a second. What we want to show you is something I think we also mentioned on a past episode of Netdata Office Hours. So let me just sign out. it's kind of the claiming from the UI. As you guys know, currently you need to copy kickstart a kickstart command and run it on your terminal. But our goal is to make even that action simple. So I'm on my local agent dashboard. I'll be signing in because I have a cloud account. So let me just sign in and get into my cloud account. If you are on your local agent dashboard and your agent is not connected to cloud, you're going to see this connect to Netdata button on the top right corner. If you click it, you're going to be displayed with the list of spaces that you have access with your account. And let me just probably put this on my this kind of a space that I have. You are asked if you want to connect this node to your all nodes room of this space or create a room where you want to connect it. But basically, what we are asking the user is to run a command that gathers an ID for validating that you have access to this node. So you need to gather something that the agent has from the host, so we can validate that you have admin access or you're administrator of that node. So if you just copy, and let me show it on my screen. I'll show it here. So if you run that command and get this UID, just copy the UID that you get from that command and paste it here, claim your agent, and boom, live them. Probably I just added it to this in the afternoon, so something might have gone wrong here. Let me quickly go to my Netdata Cloud account. But ensured you this was working. So this is production.
Guys, we are fixing it. It's okay. Tonight it will be released. So we have found a few, 2-3 issues. We are fixing them up. But today it's going to be the nightly.
But the idea is understood, right? So you see, we just from the UI grabbing a thing you captured from your host files, a session ID that is there, you're going to be able to claim the node to cloud with just that. So to make it really easy.
So this just generates a random number and asks you to go and find that file with that number, that UUID. You give it back to it. It validates that it is right, and boom, it activates. It claims the agent for you on your space. Now we try to find how to do that thing. So we need the key thing here is that, of course, if we remove this check, claiming can work without any authorization. You just sign into cloud and boom, you claim the agent. No checks. But the problem is that how do we verify that, hey, the guy that is on the monitor, on the browser, is actually the administrator? So for that thing, we thought of that simple way. So let's write a file, a number, a file, and let's ask the user to give us that file, that number. And if he manages to do that, then we say, okay, the agent is yours, since you have admin rights on that thing. And then the claiming proceeds. So the idea is that this becomes a little bit trickier, and it will give you a different command if the data runs in a Docker container, because you need to run docker exec cat the file to get the file. It was a little bit tricky because we needed from inside the container to find the name of the container the data is running. Actually, we didn't manage to find this. So it's always the container is called the data. But so this command, we need a little bit more work to understand how it should work in all cases. There are also LXC containers, mysterious stuff all over the place, that Proxmox and the likes. But the idea is that we just need the contents of the file. That's it. If we verify that the user is an administrator, then boom, we are done. Yeah, that's it for claiming. I hope that this will make it simpler for people to connect the nodes. This also allows we have disabled it, but can that ID be set via config so I can know the number in advance? maybe I want to manage it via my config management, so it almost becomes like a password then. That's an interesting idea, to have this, to allow you to store this thing. Huh? That's an interesting idea. This means, of course, guys, that because the password we create, the key we create, changes every time. So if you make a failed attempt, it generates a new one. Why we do that? Because we don't want Netdata to go into a brute force attack and the users to always try to find the same key. So the moment you do a mistake and you didn't find the key, we generate a new one. This means that if you brute force attack this API, the chances to find the key are always the same. It's a random number, 128 bits every time. It's a new one. So as you try, your chances are not become more. If it is a static thing, then you have another problem. If you have a team of people that work together, every time these people leave, you have to change the key, which is a little bit. So this is the idea of the cloud in the first place. In order to eliminate the need for user management and all this kind of stuff, we said, okay, let's do everything on the cloud, and let's find a way for people to claim their agents easily. Another idea is that if you install agents, this is not going to be done, but it's something that we are flirting with, is that if the agent is not claimed when you install it, then on first use of the dashboard, we actually give the user the option to decide what he wants to do. Do you want to claim it? Do you want to keep it like that? What do you want to do? But this will be only once at the beginning. So you make this decision and boom, it's locked there. Until, of course, you do the process again with the keys and the tokens and the likes. So this is also an interesting idea, to start the first time and ask you what you want to do. This should not work, of course, for existing installations, because suddenly if one day the agent is updated and boom, the first user can claim it, it's going to be a problem. So we need to track when this is the first installation or not. Anyway, for the moment we have this. We're going to polish it a little bit today in order to release it and see how it goes.
Interesting stuff and good challenge to solve. So this is it for the demos and for the spotlight slot. So just checking if there's any questions that anybody would like to raise at this moment.
Can I share to see if we have, if I can now, I did some changes here.
Sure, you can try, Costa.
I don't know if this is better visible now. No, it's still very, very, very bad. Let me smaller. I resize the windows, guys. Smaller. Come on, I cannot see that thing now. Now it works, guys, but if you see my screen, and it's blurry too, if you see my screen, it's like 2 centimeters times 2 centimeters. It's a tiny thing. Okay, this is not working for me. I need probably a smaller monitor somewhere in order to do this kind of stuff. Okay.
Let me see. I think we have a question from Luis. So I'm putting it up. What happens if monitoring team manages via Netdata, but some sysadmin then decides to claim the agent via command line?
So I have not tested it, and this is a good thing, Ilya. I think we should test this. The agent currently refuses to be reclaimed if it is online. So if it is online, it is claimed and it is online, it refuses to do it, at least from the UI, but I have not tested the command line. So the idea is that if it is offline, it can't connect for whatever reason, it allows you to reclaim it. Now, look how this works. Reclaiming doesn't actually change much because the ID of the agent remains the same. We don't change the ID. Even if we reclaim it, what happens is that the ACLK, the Agent Cloud Link, is based on public key cryptography. So we have public and private keys that are exchanged, and then they are saved to disk. The agent saves its own at var lib Netdata Cloud D. There's a directory and there are keys there. PGP key, PGP, I don't know, whatever. Keys there. So the idea is that if you reclaim it, the only thing that happens is that the keys are refreshed. New keys are issued. Okay? In order, of course, you can claim it if you want to a different environment. So now that we have users that are using Netdata Cloud on-prem, they have their own installation of Netdata Cloud. So how this works, instead of app.netdata.cloud, they have their own URL. This is the configuration of the agent. When they install the agent, they say, okay, this is not app Netdata Cloud, it's whatever, mine, Netdata Cloud. Now, this means that you can reclaim an agent and move it between spaces. But machine GUIDs and the identity of the agent on the parents will not be changed. It remains the same. If you want to make this agent completely new, something, so it is node A, but you want to say, okay, zap node A, I don't care anymore, I want it to be node B. You can do this, but you have to remove a file and restart Netdata. This is the Netdata registry ID, the unique ID, machine GUID, we call it, of the agent. This is generated once when the agent starts, and then it is used as an identification everywhere. This is how the cloud knows which are your agents. This is how the parents know which are your agents. They have this machine GUID there. Now, if you don't regenerate this machine GUID, reclaiming, the only thing that does is to generate new keys and exchange new keys with the cloud. That's it, nothing more. Okay, and the keys, these keys are only good for a link with the cloud. They don't identify anything else. So they just identify, they just make the link secure. That's it. But we are going to test. What if we claim it from the user interface and then we try to reclaim it from the script? I think that the script will stop. Will say to you, no, this is claimed already. But we'll test it.
Good suggestion. So let me probably share again.
I'm not sure. Well, this is usual. We usually have fake demos.
I think on the past all the demos were okay.
Come on, you're challenging me. I will do it. Wait, let me share again, Hugo. Let me share it. I will do it in the tiny thing. 2 centimeters times 2 centimeters. I will do it. It's blurry. It doesn't matter. So I sign in. Okay. Connect to Netdata. I say on this test. Does it say test? I think. I click here. It says the command. I copy it. I go to the terminal and I pasted it. Boom. I take this number, copy, I go back, I paste it here. I'm almost blind. I do it, run, and bam, online. That's it.
Successful demo.
A successful demo, Satya. So the online status is here, for those that don't. It's still
Online.
I don't know how to make it. I mean, how to make it clear, I don't know. Anyway, here it says online. Okay? And functions should work. Functions. Boom! And you have functions. This is where the systemd journal will appear. You are going to have here a thing saying systemd journal. And it will query the log of systemd in real time. Boom, take your logs. We are building the UI currently.
Satya is challenging you to fix your screen in 2 minutes.
Okay.
For next time. Cool. So we had the demo of the claiming from the UI. So just a small moment to see if any questions pops up. Otherwise, we'll just wrap up with the topics and questions that came from the community channels.
Guys, I think the marketplace is going to be a very big thing for Netdata, mainly because it will clarify to everyone what Netdata can do. So all the collectors that we manage to have. Actually, we clean up. Currently, we say on the GitHub README that we have 800 collectors. We started with more than 1,000, but mainly because many of them are community and not broken, and we remove it, so we may end up with something like 500, 600. So we're doing some quality control, let's say, currently. The next thing is the integrations, and you can see an open PR where we have we are working to actually, for every integration, each integration, to have a button to say activate from the UI. So you go, for example, to MySQL or Postgres or whatever, you press a button on the integrations page, a pop-up comes in, it tells you, okay, where is your Postgres server, where is your username, your password, to connect to that. You fill them in on a form. This does not go through the cloud. This is important there. So when you do this kind of stuff, the request goes, we have a better authorization. So through the cloud, the dashboard through the cloud asks the agent a unique token. The agent generates one, gives it back to the dashboard, and then with this token, we activate, we send the command to the agent to actually activate the integration, whatever that is. So the stuff are flowing between your browser and your agent. With this, we will be able to activate any kind of integration through the UI. Okay. Let's see. I hope that this is going to be released by September. I think we're going to have it.
We'll bring the ease of configuration to Netdata. So to wrap up, to spend more of your time. So just as I mentioned, the quick questions and feedback from community for this last week. So there was a question about configuring alerts for X collector. In this case, it was a Redis. So if you go to the Netdata repo, we always have the stock alerts available there. And using the command of the edit config over the collector you want to change, this will copy the stock alert configurations, and then you can change whatever you need on those alert definitions and just restart the else engine, and you have those available. Some question about the failing update on Ubuntu 18 Bionic. So this was one of reached the end of life, let's say. So we stopped pushing updates to the package of this. So in these cases, the approach to take is to do a static build, and you can do that by passing the option of static only on the Kickstart, and you are able to then get the updates from this build. So it's no longer on the native packages of your distro. Then what does this alarm mean? So there was a question about the 10 seconds IPv4 TCP reset sent. So in the past, we have created a page in the forum for all the alerts that we have on Netdata. So that's an option. You can go to the forum and see the details. But also recently, we did the release of the Netdata Assistant, and you can just go to the Alerts tab, Alert Configurations, find the alert that you want, and get what the assistant is telling you about that alert. So it gives you an explanation about the alert, and then if the alert is active, also tries to guide you through how to troubleshoot and to overcome the situation. So Netdata Assistant probably is in the app itself, so you can easily just grab the information from there. There was a call out that the Netdata Cloud or Netdata Cloud doesn't show the information for nodes, Windows nodes. So the Windows nodes are what we call virtual nodes. So at the moment, when we show the node information on the nodes, this is collected directly from the host where the agent is running. Being this a virtual node, we are not yet collecting this. So we know it's a problem that is there, but we don't have a fix yet plan for this. So that's the reason why on virtual nodes, you don't see those stats, let's say, or information from the node where this is running. And then there was an interesting question about a user that was seeing some refresh delay between checking the data on the parent or on the child itself. So you were seeing some 60 seconds delay. And this was a stream configuration issue. So on the stream conf, you have an option to say what is the default memory mode that you want to use on the parent for the child that it will receive the data for. So the user had thought he wanted to put none because he wanted a headless child. So that configuration needs to be on the child, not on the stream configuration for the parent. So for the parent, it will still be DB engine because the parent will store the data on its DB engine. So that was the reason why that 60 seconds gap was being seen there. Yeah, that's the last thing, and I see some teasers for things coming up ahead. Probably you also heard that we are working on the alert configuration manager. After the integration marketplace, it will be the next thing that we want to bring to cloud to allow you to easily get alert configurations from the UI, and then of course at some point directly deploy them on your agents. So that's also coming up soon. And yeah, I think that's more or less the updates for today. So just checking if any other question, any other comments. Okay. Seems we are good. So thanks for those that attended. As you know, this will be available on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, so you can rewatch it at a later stage. And being this the last Netdata Office Hours before the holiday season, we'll be doing a stop. Let's say in August, we'll not have any Netdata Office Hours episode. So the next one will be on the second week of September. So after the release that Costa was speaking about, so we have a release on the 6th, and then the next Office Hours episode will be on the 13th of September. It should be already up on the meetup page if you want to see the next event schedule. So if we don't see you, have a great holiday season and see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.